favorite day of the week's coming up, so let's see what's on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the Pull List. It's my weekly series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'll tell you which ones I'm most excited to read. We'll talk about some new series debuts coming out, and we'll also talk about new trade paperbacks hitting the market for this week in New Comics Wednesday. This Wednesday is October 29th, 2025. Man, crazy. Last few days before the spookiest day of the month and all of that going on. So there's a lot to cover. Before we do, I have to give a huge shout out to this week's winner. We have been giving away a $50 gift card to Panel Bound Comics every single week. This will be winner number 8. And all you got to do, if you would like a chance to win next week's prize, is go to comicsaredope.com/help-me-out. Most people have been using the Buy Me a Coffee link, but I do still have some really cool stuff up for sale on the website, including a really awesome Usagi Yojimbo original art piece that I don't really want to part with, but it's for a good cause. So I guess I'll let you know it's there. Anyway, so this week's winner, I actually did the drawing, and it was Tyler. Good thing you put your name in the comments of that donation, because I would not have known who to give it to. But I do have your email address, so I have forwarded that over to the good folks at Panel Bound Comics. So congratulations and thank you for your support. Now, let's talk about new comics that are coming out this week. And of course, we always start with the books at the top of the pile. The top of the pile, these are the books I am most excited for based on my enjoyment of the previous issue. This week, we got a lot of annuals and stuff like that. So I'll start the deal off with Absolute Batman, annual issue number 1. Honestly, Absolute Batman has been amazing. Scott Snyder, Nick Dragata, but that's not who's on this issue. Who is on this issue? Yes, it is Daniel Warren Johnson himself. And honestly, I bought 24 issues of Transformers. In fact, I bought 25 because I forgot to unsubscribe from the series. But you know him from Murder Falcon, from Do a Powerbomb, from Extremity, from that other thing that I don't remember that I can't name right now, Wonder Woman Dead Earth, or Beta Ray Bill. Now, what was the thing I couldn't remember? You tell me. The point is, Daniel Warren Johnson is one of my favorite cartoonists, one of my favorite writers, hands down. And it's even more of a special treat when he's drawing the thing that he writes. And that's what we're getting in this Absolute Batman annual. Now, Daniel Warren Johnson is kind of known for the feels. So I'm very curious to see like what this issue is about. But hey, I don't have much longer to wait to find out. Cover price on that is $5.99. Next up is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles annual, 2025 annual. Number 1, this book does not have the same creative team as the outgoing series does. Juan Ferreira and Jason Aaron just finished their 12-issue run. I have to assume that this annual takes place before the events of issue 12, and I still don't want to spoil the events of issue 12, but I'm very, very excited about them. So I don't know. I've just been loving the Turtles all year long. It's definitely a contender for the best series of 2025. The cover that you're looking at is the A cover, but I pre-ordered this B cover by, I didn't write down the artist, but I really like that cover. So there you go. $5.99 on that. Next up is Imperial, issue number 4. Funny enough, I don't think I've read Imperial number 3. The last Imperial book I read was the Black Panther one-shot tie-in book, and that's got me excited enough about the series. Quite honestly, I'm not super familiar with all these cosmic entities. I know who Hulk is, and I'm vaguely familiar with Planet Hulk. I've not finished Planet Hulk, but I know enough about Planet Hulk and all that to follow that part of it. But when we start bringing in the Starjammers and Nova and all these other people, I don't really know. But the art is really dope, and so that's been keeping me. And it's a fun little whodunit story. If I'm not mistaken, number 4, issue 4, is the conclusion of the series. It's a 56-page comic for $6.99. And the last book making a great return to the top of the pile is Feral, issue number 17. Feral, written by Tony Fleecs, with art by Trish Forstner and Tone Rodriguez, colors by Brad Simpson. I shouldn't have shouted everybody else out because I don't remember who's on the letters. The point, though, is I finally got caught up on Feral. Like, finally. That's what I spent the last couple of days reading. I think the last issue I had read was like number 7. I read from 7 all the way up through 16, and bro, this series is a lot better than the idea of it would be, right? Like with something like Stray Dogs, which is, kind of murder mystery, gruesome. What's that movie? There's 2 movies that kind of come to mind. One is Lakewood Terrace, where Samuel L. Jackson is a serial killer. The other one is Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf, where their neighbor is like secretly a killer, right? Those 2 movies plus All Dogs Go to Heaven. That's Stray Dogs, right? And that feels like lightning that you can't catch in a bottle more than once. But Feral is meant to be an ongoing series, and by the time you get 16 issues into a book, you're like, all right, they've shown me all the tricks that they can show me, and I'm the goodwill is run out. Not the case. Not the case for this book at all. This book, if you haven't heard me rant about it because I've been behind for a few months, so pardon my long diatribe about Feral, because this book is amazing, and I feel like I missed out on a year's worth of storytelling just from having too much on my list. But Feral is about a group of house cats who during a rabies outbreak basically have to like hoof it and fend for themselves. Their humans sort of abandoned them, and they got to find their way around this really vast world that we're exploring issue by issue. So the first arc was them kind of getting dropped off in the woods and having to figure that out. The second arc, they found their way into like some weird cat lady's house, and that had its own dangers and perils and pitfalls. And then they leave the cat lady's house and they find their way into a pet store. And this cult of pet store raised cats is some of the creepiest stuff. And it feels like the stakes just get higher and higher and higher. And it's just really cool. Like they've now inserted a Don Bluth cat love triangle. Like what? There's that going on. I don't know. I'm a Disney kid. I grew up as a Disney kid. If your movie was not animated, there is a great chance that I did not see it from 1992 to about 2004, whenever Finding Nemo came out. That was like the last big cartoon movie I remember watching, right? Everything else that came out during that time, bro, hit or miss. I watched The Page Master. That had enough cartoons in it, right? So this, like, I really miss 2D animation. Like, that classic Disney Renaissance period of the 90s that we witnessed, and then when every show had like a cartoon to go with it, Aladdin had an animated series and all the things. I don't want to relitigate all this. The point is, there is a very specific feeling that those things had that I have not felt in quite some time. And this book is giving me all of the feels. You know how like with those, the Aristocats, for example, it'll be the most mundane thing that's happening. You're like, oh my gosh, are they going to make it across the little river? Like, oh no, he fell off the log, right? A cat walking across a power line should not make me feel all the feelings that it makes me feel. But here we are. So this book is great at like, it's nostalgic, yet not, because none of the stuff that I watched as a kid was as harrowing, as gruesome, as gory. I've never watched a Disney movie with such adult themes. Well, maybe. The point is, this book is awesome. I've been talking about it for like 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop. But Feral, issue 17. If you have been sleeping on this series, like I was, I'm guilty of this. Wake up. The book is amazing. It's definitely a contender for best of 2025. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that this year that I missed out on, fell to the bottom of the reading pile, and then I got caught up and I was like, yo, I should have been reading this the whole time. Feral's at the top of that list. $3.99. As amazing as this book is, it's only $3.99. That's dope. Anyway, that's the last book at the top of the pile. I left it for last because I knew I'd be talking forever. rambling and whatnot. But let's get to a segment I like to call On the Radar. So you've heard about the series that are ongoing that I'm enjoying the most, but let's talk about some new books, new number ones, new jumping in points that are hitting the market this week. And we're going to just go ahead and give a quick little moment. I'll direct your attention to the screen so you can see that there are a bunch of Age of Revelation tie-ins debuting this week, each for a cover price of $3.99 if I'm not mistaken. The only one that really looks interesting to me is Expatriate X-Men. But those covers are flashing on the screen right now in case there are series that you're interested in. But next up, we've got Superman Red and Blue, the 2025 special. Issue number 1. It's a one-shot. They did a Superman Red and Blue anthology that ran, 5 issues back in 2023? What year did John Paul Leon pass? Because he did a cover for, I want to say, the last issue of that. And that was like his last published work. It might have been 22, maybe even 21. It's been a minute since Superman Red and Blue was coming out. It's a really cool anthology. You've been seeing those black, white, and blood and so on. The Superman Red and Blue, I liked the way they used blue and like values of blue and red instead of just black and white. For whatever reason, that made it more appealing to me. But Superman is having quite the year in 2025, so I'm very excited. I don't even know who's on this anthology, but the fact that they are pulling it together, they wouldn't do it for no reason. So it's got to be some interesting stuff going on there. $5.99 on that. Next up is Supernatural, issue number 1, written by Greg Pak from our friends at Dynamite Entertainment. Supernatural is a TV series, I believe was a CW TV series that a lot of people loved. Fun fact, Jeremy Adams did some writing for Supernatural before he was a comic writer. I've never seen an episode, like not the one. And I'm not big on paranormal activity and stuff in film or TV or whatever. But Greg Pak is writing this. I love Greg Pak. So I'm going to try this debut issue. Cover price on that is $4.99. Next up is the Dick Tracy Halloween special. Dick Tracy from Mad Cave Studios. I know I read the initial 5-issue series of Dick Tracy. I don't know if they've been continuing to publish Dick Tracy since then, but what I was surprised about Dick Tracy was like how gruesome it was. It's a crime comic, but like how gory and how detailed some of the art was. I was like, oh, so that seems like a type of thing that could bode well for a Halloween special. Cover price on that is $6.99. And the last book on the radar for me this week is Disney Villains Maleficent, Volume 2, Issue number 1. The original Disney Villains Maleficent was written and drawn by Sue Lee. This is written by Paulina Ganuso with art by Theo Stoltz. I've read some of Ganuso's work. She worked on Powerpuff Girls with Kelly Thompson a while back, and then she took over as the main series writer for that. I've not heard the name Theo Stoltz, so I'm curious to see how it is. Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent, not necessarily one of my favorite Disney villains, but I loved the art in the last volume. I'm curious to see what this one will look like. So that's all that's on the radar. Lots of books coming out. Like I said, there's a bunch of annuals and one-shots and stuff like that. So you want to check your LCS, check the shelves to see if there's anything that you're interested in. Now, if I'm going to make room for any of that in my budget, well, I got to check it first. So this week, I didn't count the number of books I'm buying. I think it's 8 books for a total of $45.39. If I stick to the budget, I did say I was going to try out Supernatural, so let's just add $5 to that. So once I add Supernatural, my budget's maxed out. But let's see what else has made it into the box. First up is Batman and Robin Year 1, issue number 12. This is the end of that series by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. By all accounts, it's amazing. It fell to the bottom of my reading pile and never recovered. Maybe you'll see it on the best of 2025 list. Maybe you won't. We'll see. $3.99 is the price on that series conclusion. Speaking of Batman and series conclusions, we've got Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 10. This is a series written by Jeff Loeb. It was supposed to be done by Tim Sale, ended up being done in tribute to Tim Sale by 10 different artists. Honestly, I was on board for this until Hush 2 came out and just killed all my enthusiasm for anything Jeff Loeb was writing. Maybe this holds up better. I hope this holds up better, but I haven't heard a whole lot about this series. So it's been floundering at the bottom of my reading pile. I never took it off the list. And so issue 10 is in the box waiting for me for a cover price of $4.99. Next up is The Rockefellers, issue number 10. This book is awesome. I have been catching up. I bought the first trade and then I read issue 7 and 8. I still have not read issue 9, but I'm really enjoying the series so far. By the way, I should warn you, I go through and I read the solicits for all these books while I'm preparing for this video. But for this book, The Rockefellers, and for Feral, don't read the solicit text. You're going to spoil something for yourself. There's a mystery. There's a woman after this family. Why is she after them? Is she going to catch them? I don't know. But this is a Halloween issue. Last year, some of the charm of this series was the fact that it was happening kind of coinciding with real time, and somehow it did that before the Ultimate Universe did it. But no, it didn't. Anyway, the point is the Christmas issue came out and it was Christmas in the book. And now this year we got a Halloween issue. So that'll be fun. $4.99 on that. Excuse me, $3.99. $3.99 on that. And the last book on my pull list this week is Sonya Reborn, issue number 3. This written by Christopher Priest with art by Alessandro Miracolo. I think that's the name. Bro, the art on this book is amazing. This is a book, in classic Priest fashion. It's told out of sequence, so it keeps you on your toes. But this young woman, Margaret from Italy, basically woke up and read, not Italy, England, woke up and read Sonya's body. And so we're seeing her as Red Sonya learning how to be a barbarian woman. Is she barbarian? I don't know. The fun thing about this series for someone who, like me, is uninitiated is it is a perfect explainer comic. There's a character in here, I forgot his name, but he's like a squire for Red Sonya, and he's basically telling her everything she's supposed to be doing, even while Maggie is freaked out. Like, don't throw your sword away. Don't turn your back on this type of warrior. Don't do this, don't do that. So you're learning the rules of engagement while you're watching this mystery take place. How did she wake up in Sonya's body? Is it Sonya that took over her body? Which of them is hallucinating? What's going on? And by the way, who is this strange, mysterious, witchy looking lady that is somehow pulling some kind of strings behind the scenes we keep getting glimpses of? I don't know. This book is really interesting. Like, Priest is at the top of his game. Like, I like it. I like it a lot. Sonya Reborn, issue 3. Cover price on that is $4.99. Also from Dynamite Entertainment. That's the last book in my reading pile. Last book waiting for me at Fight or Flight Comics in my subscription box. But it's not the last segment of the show. That would be a segment called Trade Waiting. These are new collected editions hitting the market for the first time. Well, there's one exception that I put on this list, and that is Rook Exodus, the Deluxe Edition, Volume 1. Rook Exodus, another Ghost Machine title. This is written by Jeff Johns with art by Jason Fabik. This about this dude who is what we call a warden. He's on this planet. There's a company that kind of like basically terraformed another planet because the Earth was somehow unsustainable and then abandoned that planet and some of the people on it. But these people, the wardens, they have these helmets, and through these helmets, they can communicate with wildlife. And so Rook has the helmet that allows him to communicate with birds. Is it all birds? Is it just crows? The point is he controls birds. There's another warden who is basically out trying to get them. This is a very good book. The point, though, is that it is a deluxe edition. You need to see this artwork oversized. I just talked about the trade paperback a few weeks ago when that came out. I knew fully well I was going to buy this deluxe edition when the trade came out. I should have just skipped the trade, but I wanted to read the story. So there's that. $39.99 on that. Next up, coming out is Marvel and Disney What If. There have been a bunch of one-shots featuring like Disney characters, but like what if Mickey and Donald became the Fantastic Four? What if Donald Duck was Iron Man? Or Thor? What if Goofy was the Incredible Hulk? I don't remember which of those titles are actually real ones that came out, but the point is they're all being collected into this trade paperback. Marvel and Disney, What If? Out this week for $24.99. Next up, a lot of Marvel on this list, by the way, but it's Marvel Tales by J. Michael Straczynski, JMS, who wrote a very famed Spider-Man run. Some might argue that the last time Spider-Man was good was when JMS was writing it, which didn't Dan Slott come after JMS? I feel like those people are just tweaking. But the point is, J. Michael Straczynski, creator of Babylon 5, wrote a bunch of like seemingly random Marvel team-ups. And this could very well have been called Marvel Team-Ups by JMS. But there was Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six, like a new Sinister Six. There was, why would I try to name any of them? Anyway, Marvel Tales by J. Michael Straczynski, out this week for $24.99. Next up, Wolverine by Saladin Ahmed, Volume 2. I jumped off of the Fall of X. This didn't last 2 trades with me, except I went and bought that Daniel Warren Johnson cover for issue 10 because he wrote a backup story. I couldn't tell you if this series is good, is my point, but it's out. Cover price on that is also $24.99. Am I tripping, or have trades gone up? $17.99 used to feel standard. All of these books are like $25 this week. That's crazy. But the last book we're going to spotlight is Power Man, Timeless, Volume 1. It's the only volume. It was a miniseries. There was a Timeless special last year. And then this year, we had the Power Man Timeless miniseries that ran 4 issues. Nobody told me that was a miniseries. I very much thought that Timeless was going to be another one-shot, and they were just doing an annual one-shot. And then issue 2 came out, and I was like, wait, what? There's a series with Bernard Chang on art that I didn't know was a series. And he was like, yeah, that's a series. So now the trade's out, and I can go enjoy some dope art by Bernard Chang with a future-based Luke Cage that comes to the present day. Sounds very interesting. Cover price on that is $19.99. And that's it. Those are all the books we're going to spotlight this week on the pull list. You know, spooky days coming up, Halloween. I don't know why I called it Spooky Day. This is Spooky Month, but Halloween's coming up. I hope you guys are safe. If you're taking your kids out, I want y'all to be safe, them to be safe. The decorations are out there. They get more sophisticated every year. I've seen so many 40-foot skeletons. My next door neighbor's got a witch that I always think is a person on their front porch. Just crazy work. Y'all stay safe out there. Enjoy all your candy, and I will see you in another video soon. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.